and welcome to the show. My name is Clau and my guest today is Louise Butler Green. Hi Louise, how are you?
I'm all right, how are you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good to have you here.
Yeah.
I'll give a quick introduction on your background. Louise is an Executive Manager Marketing at Commonwealth Bank of Australia, CBA, and she's a recent Marketing Academy scholar and she has a human psychology degree and a postgrad in marketing management. Louise is passionate about storytelling and has built a 20 years career within companies like Accenture, Microsoft and CBA, but also with small startup agencies in PR, marketing and TV production. Louise and I have known each other since 7 years as I've looked after their family dog, Harry.
You have.
Yeah. And I'm keen to talk to Louise today and share her take on shifting leadership. So the first thing that I was keen to hear from you is, what are your challenges that you face and what are the opportunities that you see?
Well, at the moment, I mean, as you know, it's such an interesting time. So I might talk about this at a few levels. At the moment, the banking industry is just in an incredibly interesting place. Yeah. We have just got this huge opportunity at the moment to really lead Australia and really help get them out of this incredible situation that we are in at the moment. And so at CBA, we've already given out loans to almost 6,500 businesses that have been impacted by COVID. So there's a huge opportunity there really to help rebuild trust. And of course, what that means from a marketing perspective is we've got a really great opportunity, my team and the other teams in the bank at the moment, to really be out there trying to help share our story and really talk about how we are helping and enabling our business in Australia. So marketing have just got this incredible role to play at the moment, and I'm really pleased that we're having an opportunity to do that. And then from a team perspective, never before have I seen our team so motivated and in touch with the vision of our organisation, because they can see the impact of what they're doing. So that's really exciting. And then personally, I mean, it's just been crazy. It's busy. I'm homeschooling, I'm at work, I'm doing all those things, but it's just been a really great opportunity for me to learn how to prioritize, learn how to create my own space and be able to do things. So it's been a great time for me as well.
How do you usually create your thinking power and focus to manage all that?
I've got a couple of tools and tricks that I use. I think power is a really interesting word. When I saw that question, I was thinking, we don't actually use the word power, really. Power for me means impact and influence, and having the influence on people to be able to create an impact. And I guess there are probably three tools that I use around that. The first really is around, if I'm talking really tactically at work, I have a power half hour. So when I wake up in the morning, I get into work, I get my coffee, I sit there and I have a power half hour. And if I don't have the power half hour, I really struggle to be centered throughout my day. It's a really important thing. So I very much protect that time. So that's really important to me. And then if I think about having impact on people, I love the tool around what do you want people to think, feel and do off the back of conversations that you have with them. And that really gives me focus and I think power as well. So I use that tool. So I really work out, well, what do I want this person to think about me when I walk out the room? How do I want them to feel? And then what do I want them to do off the back of it? So that's really important. And then how do I actually build that in as well? Another tool that I was taught around focus is to try and channel 3 words. So I've got this, I try and work out what my 3 words are going to be for the day or for the meeting or for the interaction I'm going to have. So I love using like words like curious, and I want to be competent, and I want to be considered clever, or whatever it might be. And if I could think of those 3 words and get really clear on those 3 words, then they really help me be powerful and have focus in meetings and interactions that I have.
Yeah. What is your take then on reinventing yourself in these times and with that workload?
Yeah, it's funny because being part of the Marketing Academy, the concept of reinvention sort of came up very much in what we were doing on one of our days. And it was the first time I really started to think about this concept of reinvention. So it's actually quite a new concept to me. So, and I've been thinking about it a lot over the past couple of months, actually.
Yeah.
And there was a really great speaker that was there called Kamal Sharma, who was talking about how you have this belief that if you do something really, really well, you expect it to work again in the future.
Yeah.
And that's great for a period of time, but doesn't work when you want to make a step change. So if you want to make a step change, what do you need to do? And you actually need to do something different. Whatever you've done before might not make you be successful in the future. So this is where the introduction of reinvention came along, which I really had to think about, how do I unlearn, right? As we know, the older we get, we create these pathways in our brain and we become more and more in our fixed mindset, right? Over and over again. And so I really enjoy that. And I think it's actually something you have to work on more as you get older.
Yeah.
And so I'm following this incredible guy on LinkedIn at the moment. I have to read his name because I can't pronounce it, but he's a guy called James Altucher. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No,
but he talks about reinvention, and he talks about it becoming a habit. And so how do you reinvent yourself daily as a habit? So for example, if you think you're not creative, then what you can potentially do is make a list of 10 really creative things every single day. And if you do that over 30 days, you get 300 crazy ideas. Yeah. But the whole point of it really is retraining your brain to actually think creatively. So I love that in terms of how to unlearn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love the concept of unlearning, because unlearning also has to do with what are you letting go, right? So nice segue to my next question. What risks are you willing to take with that?
Yeah, it's funny. I took this question as well around attachment and how attached you are to things, and sort of the abundance that comes from being unattached. So I don't think I'm a natural risk taker. I actually don't. And I think we also naturally through our lives become less risk takers. If I think about moving to Australia, I had less qualifications. I was less educated. I had less money, and it was a really easy thing to do. And of course now I couldn't imagine just uprooting and moving. So I'm not a natural risk taker, but I do it, and I can push myself. And I think you have to choose which risk you take. And the other thing that I really enjoy about thinking about risk is just this perception around putting controls in place. And jumping out of an airplane actually isn't risky if you put the right controls in place. It's true.
Metaphor, I like that. Hey, and when you think of these crazy times and going forward, what will you be doing differently, or what will you keep doing from here?
Yeah, I think for me, just what we talked about earlier about learning how to create space and prioritizing, I'm probably doing more than I've ever done before, but I'm actually in a really good place. And that's ruthless prioritization, and then sort of finding micro times, like finding those moments. So to give you an example, I'm doing Marketing Academy, like I said earlier, homeschooling. But what I've done is I'll eat my dinner and watch a Marketing Academy lecture, and then be able to close it and have a conversation with my husband. So it's about building things in and also doing things that give you energy. And so I'm really going to take that forward. Like if I can do things that give me energy, they balance out the things that don't give me energy. And if I can get that balance right and learn day to day to make that part of my prioritization, then I think that's really important. And I want to take that lesson. Forward.
And I'll take that lesson forward. Sounds really good. It's all about balancing the energy and setting those priorities and what's really important in life, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right.
So,
yeah.
On that note, thanks so much for being here and sharing your insights. Really enjoyed our chat, and I'll see you soon. And thanks, everyone. See you next time on the Shift.
Thanks, Claudia. Thanks.
Bye. Keep shifting. Bye.